an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. When you let your nuts hang.
Put a finger down if one weekend you have no plans, so you decide you're going to go to this mall by your new place that you've never been to and have a little treat yourself day. And so you get to the mall and it's huge and you're walking around, you see the store that you want to go to, so you start walking towards the store and you realize that there's a crowd of people standing outside of the store and they're all huddled around and kind of looking up at the ceiling and watching what you think is a bird flying back and forth, and you're not fazed because you used to work at Home Depot and they used to fly into the store all the time and build their little nest in the rafters, but they were completely harmless. So you keep walking through the crowd to the store that you want to go to. And then you make direct eye contact with this thing because it starts flying literally straight at you. And you realize in that moment that it's actually not a bird and that it's a bat. And it's also 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And so the bat is probably rabid. And it doesn't look like it's flying anywhere else except straight at you. So you obviously start freaking out a little bit. You flail your arms, you scream, and then you don't see the bat anymore. And now you're feeling embarrassed because there's a crowd of probably 20 people around and they're all staring at you because you just made a scene. And so you do one of these. I'm so sorry, guys. That was so crazy. But what are you going to do? You have to move on with your day. So you continue walking into the store that you want to go to. And that's when you make eye contact with one of the guys that's in the crowd through the glass of the store that you're now in. And he goes like this, "It's on your back." And you say, "The bat?" And he says, "Yeah, the bat is on your back." And it's also the middle of summer, so you're wearing just like a thin tank top, and this bat you realize must be attached to the tank top because you don't feel it on your back at all. And so naturally, once you realize that this bat is attached to your back, you throw the purse that you're carrying across the store that you're in. You step out of the Boston clogs that you're in, so now you're barefoot. You sprint out of the store back into the middle of the crowd of people. And if you thought that I was making a scene before, you should have seen the scene that I just caused then, because not only was I screaming, but I was also cursing and actively trying to hit this bat off of my back. And there are poor mothers with their children around, covering up their children, like shielding them away from me. And obviously nobody's helping me because it's probably rabid and nobody wants to touch the bat. And so finally you hit it with the back of your hand and you feel it, and then you look down and now there's a bat on the floor, and now you're really embarrassed and everyone is like, "Oh my gosh, like what just happened?" And you are apologizing again, and the guy that had helped you in the first place was like, "You don't need to apologize, like that was crazy." And then this kind woman comes up to you and she looks at you and you're literally shaking and also still barefoot, and she says, "Honey, you need to go to the hospital." And you say, "Right, because I probably have rabies now." And so obviously you start instantly sobbing and you sprint to the nearest bathroom and you start vigorously washing your hands because you just touched the bat with your bare hand, and you're sobbing, and there's a poor woman washing her hands next to you and she says nothing. And then you leave the bathroom and the kind lady is talking to a security guard and she points at you and says, "There she is." And you walk over to the security guard, still sobbing, and he says, "I'm going to take your name and number. I'm not really sure the protocol in this situation, but I'll call you." And you say, "I don't blame you. I wouldn't expect you to know what to do right now." And then the lady says, "I think the bat is like still alive." And you're thinking like, do you want me to finish it off? Anyways, while you're sobbing and uncontrollably shaking because of what just happened, the woman says, "Are you going to be able to drive to the hospital?" And you say, "Yeah, like I think I'll be fine. I just need to like breathe and calm down a little bit." And the security guard goes, "Do you want me to call you an ambulance?" And you say, "No, I cannot afford that." So then you get in your car and you drive to the hospital, and you're calling your parents in between this, and you're on Google and your parents are on Google looking up coming in contact with a rabid bat, and Google is saying that sometimes you won't even know if they bite you because their teeth are so small you won't even feel it. And they're also saying that if you can, you should collect the bat and take it to the Department of Health to get tested for rabies, because if it comes back negative, you won't need to continue the rabies vaccination. And so the security calls you back from the mall and asks if you're okay, and you say, "Yeah, I'm just going to the hospital right now. By the way, like I'm reading all this stuff online that says that you should collect the bat and take it to the Department of Health to get it tested if you can." And they say, "Absolutely, we're going to do that, and whoever comes and picks it up will give them your contact information so that they can call you." And so you go into the hospital, and all of the doctors are absolutely shocked by the story that you tell them. But the doctor looks on your back and he doesn't see any bite marks or anything, and you're like, "Well, you know, you're reading online and it says sometimes you can't even see the bite marks, but whatever, they're the professionals." And so he asks if they're getting the bat tested? And you say, yeah, they told me they are. And he says, okay, I'm not going to have you get the rabies vaccination right now because it's not protocol unless you were bit or unless we know that the bat was positive for rabies. So if they call you back and tell you that it is, then you should probably come back in and get the shots. And you say, okay, you're a little bit freaked out because everything that you're reading online is telling you that you need to get the vaccination immediately. So then you leave and you call the security back and you say, hey, it's been like 2 hours. Did somebody from the Department of Health come and pick up the bat? And they say, oh, we threw it away. And you say, you threw the bat away? And they said, yeah, my supervisor wanted us to get it out of the mall as quickly as we can, so we just like threw it away across the street. And you're thinking, I'm pretty sure that's illegal if the bat was rabid, okay? But anyways, the bat's not getting tested for rabies anymore. So then you call the doctor back, and this is seriously what he sounds like on the phone. Oh, I don't know, like, I'm not sure, like, if you weren't bit, like, you wouldn't need it, but if they're not getting it tested, like, I don't really know. So now you're really freaking out because nobody is telling you what to do and you're afraid that you're going to die from rabies. And he says that you should call the Department of Health and see what they say. And it's a weekend, so you're calling them, they're not answering, you're calling their 24/7 line, nobody's answering. And so you call the doctor back and you say, I can't get a hold of anybody from the Department of Health. By the way, it's probably 10 p.m. at this point. And he says, I'm kind of thinking you should just start the rabies vaccination series. And you say, thank you. Like, is there any side effects or anything? People keep walking past me and I keep getting embarrassed. But anyways, you say, is there any side effects to this rabies vaccination shot as to like why you're so hesitant to give it to me? He says no. And so you're like, yeah, I'm going to come back in and get that then. And you go back in and I'm going to have to make a part 2. Put a finger down if 1 week. Part 2 of my Put a Finger Down challenge, being attacked by a rabid bat series. So anyways, you go back into the hospital to get your rabies shots and they basically tell you that it's a series of 4 vaccination shots. And when you get the first one, you also have to get other shots on top of that kind of help the vaccine to kick in like right away in case you were like bit by something rabid. And those shots are based off of your weight. And basically the nurse looks at me and she goes, based on your weight, you're gonna have to get 3 of those. Okay, just call me Piggy. Anyways, I'm like, great, like, are they all going to go into one arm? Because that's 4 different shots. And she goes, no, the vaccination is gonna go in one arm and then the remainder of the 3 shots are gonna go 1 in your other arm and 1 in each of your butt cheeks. Thank you. You're like, this is awesome. Great. Thank you. And of course, whenever she pokes one of your butt cheeks, you like flinch really hard and you're really embarrassed. And it hurts even more because you do that. Anyways, you get those shots and then they basically tell you that you're going to have to come back on day 3, day 7, and day 14. Okay. This is a Saturday. So obviously on day 7 and 14, I have plans and I have travel plans, so I'm not going to be able to come back to the same hospital. And then you go to check out and they charge you $350 to be seen. And so now you're sore all over your body, you're traumatized, and you're also really angry because you don't have $350 times 4 for each time that you're going to have to go into a hospital, by the way, because you can't get these shots at MedExpress. And so now you're angry and everyone's telling you that you should sue this mall. And so you call them back and you file a claim and all of this stuff. And basically, really long story short, you pay the $350 every time to get your stupid rabies vaccination shots. And the insurance guy calls you eventually and asks for your story and you tell him everything that happens. And then at the end of the call, he says, do you think that the mall is liable? And you're like, listen, I'm not trying to sue them. I don't want extra money. I just want them to pay my hospital bills. Yes, I do think they're liable because if not them, then who? If not them, then who? Okay. And I don't think they're liable for releasing a rabid bat into the mall. Obviously, they didn't do that on purpose, but I do think they're liable because they didn't pick it up and take it to the Department of Health to get tested, where if it was negative, I wouldn't have to be going through any of this. And they also told me that they were going to do that and then didn't. And so that's where I think they're liable, sir. Please give me some money. Basically, he calls me back probably a month later and tells me that they found the mall to be negligent in this situation because they couldn't help that a bat was loose in the mall. Like, they didn't put it there. And you repeat exactly what you just said. And he basically, to sum it up, says, cry about it. We're not going to help you. Okay, so now you are completely vaccinated, probably around $1,000 more broke than you were before. However, you are free of rabies for the next 10 years. So if anybody has a rabid bat or a rabid animal in their house that they need taken care of, call me and I will sacrifice myself. Also, if anybody knows a lawyer that can help me get some money out of this situation, please DM me, because also not only did all of this happen, but now I'm like thinking about going Christmas shopping, and that mall was really good. Like they had a lot of good stores, and I'm like, should I go back to that mall and start maybe getting some Christmas gifts for people? And I was about to go there today and I truly couldn't because I'm actually too scared. So anyways.
Man, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, man. And follow me on Twitch. Listen. Don't go back to that stupid ass mall. You should be suing the shit out of them. Bro, they are completely negligent in finding out if that bat has rabies. They threw the bat away. Bitch, did y'all even call the CDC to find out what you should do in a situation like this? Your decision was to throw the bat away across the street. Okay. How many people put their fucking minds together to come up with that idea? You know what, man? I work at a place, and if a bird dies or a frog dies or any kind of animal dies on that floor, even so much, it's other places in this place. If a bug dies in this place, it has to be analyzed. So one time I opened up this whole door and it was bugs everywhere. I was like, what the fuck? And because I was looking for the bathroom, and who knew that this wouldn't be a bathroom? But what the fuck is this room for? And all you see is bugs lined up on the floor. So then I'm like, bruh, did y'all see that room? There's like, nobody's opened that door in like 10 years. I'm like, well, shouldn't y'all say do not open? So then they have a whole hazmat crew come in, vacuum up all the bugs. And they about to go get these bugs analyzed because it was so many, and they were like that big. I don't know if they were roaches or what, but my goodness, it was horrible. And I was just like, how did y'all not know about that? But it's like, no one ever opens the door. Well, shouldn't y'all have some signs to tell people how to get to the restroom? Because I'm pretty sure somebody's opened that fucking door before and was grossed out. But I was the only one that like said, hey, y'all need to put some restroom signs up and don't. Because what if a blind person came in? Just what if? But the place that I work, if a bird dies, because there's a whole you gotta call the special people. So special people gotta pick up these people. They close off the area. This is serious. They close off the area. They do all that. So and I know this because I work at this place. I know this. You're supposed to do this with certain animals because why that bird just died in certain areas. You in a mall, right? I know y'all see birds in the mall, birds in Lowe's, and just birds, just random places. One time, we had a possum in the house. This might have been 2 years ago or a year ago or so. My mom, she said she called me. She called me and she was like, PJ, get over here. It's a possum in the house. So I rushed to the house. Go to help my mama. She can't find the fucking possum. She like, the police is there or whatever. The police are there and they like, If you find the possum, we'll come back. They got animal controllers there. They looking for the possum. They can't find it. What happened was she went to the refrigerator in the middle of the night, and the fridge is right by the trash can. She closed the fridge, and the possum is right there on the trash can. Like, bitch, you disturbing my dinner. She freaked out. So it's funny, right? Alright, so bet. My mama leave out of town, so I go stay at her house while she out of town or whatever. And then I heard a broom drop in the kitchen. It's just me there. So I'm like, nigga, what's that? Did something just fall? So I'm like, oh shit. Let me get up. So then I go in. I see the broom on the ground. And I'm like, So I put the broom up. Mind you, the broom is by the trash can. I don't see anything, right? I put the broom up. I go to my room. I think I come back and I go to the fridge, and guess who's staring right at me? The possum. Like, bitch, I thought I got rid of you. That's what he said. He said to me, I didn't think he was coming back, so I was just chilling. But don't mind me. I freaked out. Anyway, I went to go get a golf club, and I got the broom that fell. I went to go get a golf club, and the broom that fell. I was like, I'm gonna whack the shit out this mug. Anyway, so I was like, all right. So now I know where he at. I said, oh no. I moved my mom's china cabinet. Now, if anybody got a china cabinet, they know how heavy this mug is. Plus, it's all the dishes in there and everything in there. So we got champagne, all type of shit off in there. Liquor bottles, all like it's full liquor, not just empty liquor bottles. So I'm moving it carefully, and I hear this thing. Shh, shh. I'm like, oh shit, he under there. So, cause I'm looking under there, I see him. He all back in the corner. So I flip over my mama's kitchen table. Mind you, this is like a $2,000 table. I flip over the kitchen table. I block off the living room. I take the chairs and I like face the chairs to where it can't go into the living room. So I block off the living room and I block off the kitchen because we in a dining room, kitchen together. So I block off between the refrigerator and the counter, and then I block off the entrance to the living room. And I open up the door so it can run straight outside, right? And then, so I'm just messing with this thing, trying to get it out, hitting it with the golf club. And what I didn't do, we got this thing, it's one of those caddies that you can just like ride around the house, and like if you put a bunch of food in different places or whatever. Like if you serving shit to people. My mama used it to store shit anyway. Like gumbo pots and shit like that. So then the possum run under that. So I'm like, damn. And then I pull it back because I got the table out the way. And he's sitting in the corner and it's just looking at me. And I'm looking at him. So I'm like, all right. So now I got the golf club in one hand and the broom in the other. And I said, I'm finna just play whack-a-mole and until he run out the house. Because I got the door wide open. The back door is wide open. Man, so I get him out the corner. I whack him. Whack! And I know I hit him pretty good to steer him in the direction, because he was trying to run into the kitchen, which is run back. And I whack him. He turns and he runs outside. And my mom got this porch front patio furniture or whatever. That mug said, boom, jumped over the patio furniture, then leaped up the fence and jumped. I don't know where it went, but I think it went on the roof. But I was like, this motherfucker's a ninja. Because that's how it was getting in the trash. Because ain't no way it could get in the trash can unless it jumped up there. And, you know, because you can't climb. There was nothing over there to climb up the thing. So the thing was actually jumping into the trash can. That was crazy. So, yeah, that was a horror story. It was I was scared as shit. But I called the police first and they said, we can't do nothing about it. So I'm sitting on the phone with my mama. I found this motherfucker. I was using bad language. I was like, I'm finna get him. I'm finna get him. She was like, okay. So she on the phone and she hear me, ah! Ah! That mug was like this. I said, when I hit that thing, it was perfect right along the side of his body. Whap! That mug turned fast and ran outside. I know wherever he is, his ass had a bruise. No, animal control would not come out there. Oh no, animal control would have charged I think it's like $1,600. It was some astronomical, and I was like, I'm about to figure this shit out. I'm about to figure it out. Cause I am not letting you. I'm not paying no $1,600 to get no goddamn possum out of here.